guys, welcome to RV Recordings. This is going to be the 5 things I hate about my Audi S5. Alright, so starting it off with number 1 would have to be the out-of-date tech in here. Like, it's very, like, this is a 2011, so it's obviously a little bit older. It's 10 years old. It's just like for instance, my phone, I can make phone calls in here. Like, as soon as I call somebody, it's going to go through the radio, or if somebody calls me, it's going to go through the radio. But for some reason, I can't listen to music from my phone or the radio. There's no Bluetooth hookup with my phone. They give you some, like, weird looking old iPhone 4 cable hookup on the glove compartment that, like, is really obsolete now. But it's just dumb. You would think, like, I'd be able to at least be able to listen to music and have a Bluetooth set up, but I can't listen. I can only listen to the radio pretty much, unless you have some old iPod you want to, you know, be able to listen to. Not only that, but also like the backup camera. Sometimes it doesn't want to work, or sometimes it works, but like for instance, when I back out of my driveway, like, as soon as I put it back into first gear and start going, it takes a long time for the radio to come back on. Usually it'll take a little bit of time. It's like a long delay for it to go back to normal and just show the radio or show the menu or whatever it was before the backup camera came on. So it's little things like that, but it's still just kind of annoying. Just like, it's just not as sharp as it could be. Now, keep in mind, on this 5 things I hate about the Audi S5 list, I'm going to be pretty tedious. I love this car very much. I had it for 4 years or 5 years now. It's a great car. It's awesome. So if this, you know, if you're hearing me talk bad about this car and sound like I'm being kind of picky, I pretty much am, because it's kind of hard to find 5 things I really hate about this car. So just keep that in mind, that I'm really going out of my way to find something wrong with this car because I love it so much. Just trying to create some more content here and give an honest opinion of what I feel, and just kind of like, you know, just kind of keep it open-minded. Obviously the pros, you know, outweigh the cons, which is why I still have this car and I love this car. But just keep that in mind when you're watching this video. I don't want you guys thinking that I'm some, like, you know, this guy complains about everything, you know, or whatever. Like, you know, be thankful, you know, because it's definitely, like, I love this car. But so keep that in mind. Anyway, so that was the first thing, just it being kind of out of date, not being able to have hook up my phone for Bluetooth music, you know, radio. That's really kind of the main thing that's kind of annoying in here. I don't mind all the buttons. I actually prefer the buttons over just all touchscreen personally, but just being out of date in general. So that's the first one. The second one would be the maintenance. The maintenance is obviously pretty expensive, being a German sports car V8, you know, and it's because it is 10 years old. There's a lot of other, you know, factors in there that you gotta take them, you know, in consideration. But the oil change is a big one. The oil change is $200, which is just, for what? You know, it's just crazy how much that is. And the thing is, like, and that's not even dealer pricing. That's like some shop that I go to. The dealer is even more than that. So it's not like, well, you shouldn't go to the dealership. Like, that's not even dealership. Dealership's probably like $280, $300, you know, around that range. The place I go to is $200, and it's still really expensive. Even doing it yourself would probably be $140. Probably it's still going to be quite a bit of money for an oil change. So it's just what it is, you know. And then obviously, if something breaks down, it's going to cost way more than a normal car. For instance, there's this black grille that I really want, that I had for my Jetta. If you guys remember the Volkswagen Jetta, I had a black grille, and I don't remember how much that grille. I think it was like 120, 150 bucks, something like that. Pretty reasonable. To get a black grille for this car would be like $500, and it's just insane. It's just like everything is just twice or more expensive than what it was on my Volkswagen Jetta. It's just crazy. Everything's just so expensive. All right, so number 3 is gonna be the sunroof or moonroof, because it actually it only tilts up, it doesn't slide back. So I wish it would be able to slide back too. I don't really use the sunroof that much, but just to have one. It's cool. That's all I can do. All you can do is hit this button right here, and it just tilts it up. It doesn't slide back. So that's going to be on the list too. I don't know why they didn't just make a normal sunroof, but yeah, that's number 3. Number 4 would be the steering wheel. Number 4 is the steering wheel. I don't really like the steering wheel of this car. I feel like it makes it look really old. I prefer a flat bottom steering wheel. I actually seen a really nice one. It has like leather and carbon fiber. It's like really thick too. It says S5 too, so it looks like a, you know, it's not like some crazy aftermarket steering wheel. It actually looks really nice as well. So there's a lot of different options out there. But to me, I feel like the steering wheel is what makes this car look really old. Let me turn that off. Let me close that. Yeah, I want to keep that closed. I like to keep all the windows closed, AC kind of down for video, just because a lot of other like wind noise and distractions. I don't want the mic to be all messed up. But anyway, yeah, number 3 would be the steering wheel. I prefer a flat bottom steering wheel than this round one. And just to me, this looks old. Like most old Audis had this kind of steering wheel. Like if this was like updated or newer, the car would actually look newer, in my opinion. I just feel like this really dates the car even more, the steering wheel. But I mean, other than the style, you know, it still feels good in the hand. You know, it just the way the airbag is, everything's kind of big, and it just looks older. You know, like that's one of the ways to tell. Okay, that's a 2011. That's a 2008. You know, that's 2007 because of the steering wheel. If I got a new steering wheel, it would make the car look even newer. So it's just little stuff like that. As far as the functions go, they're pretty good. They're pretty simple. I wish there was actually more buttons. All it is like this little turn. You can turn the radio up or down, but there's no like actual buttons to like preset anything. But you do have the MMI system right there to control that. So that's not really an issue. It's more of like an aesthetic thing, you know, just the look of it. It'd be nicer if it was a flat bottom. And the 5th thing would be, this car is actually really heavy. It's a very heavy car for the size. You wouldn't think it'd be this heavy. It's a little over 4,000 pounds, which is, I mean, that's really heavy. That's heavier than a Ford Mustang. It's heavier than a Camaro, Corvette, Audi R8, even a Nissan GTR. You know, it's a really heavy car, and for something it's pretty small too. It's a small 2-door. You wouldn't think it'd be that heavy, but this is a very heavy car. I wouldn't say it's very nimble. It still takes corners really well because it's the 4-wheel drive. You know, it really does hug the road well, but you can definitely tell it's heavy when you're driving in it. It's very different. It doesn't give you that like quick, nimble feel. It feels like an old, heavy muscle car, American muscle car. That's pretty much what it feels like. So that's it for the top 5 things I hate about the Audi S5. I was gonna say one more thing, like one honorable mention or whatever like that. It'd probably be just like the people look at you a lot. You know, you get a little bit of attention. You know, that's one thing I don't really like. Especially coming from this car. This is not a Lamborghini or anything crazy. I'm sure those of you that have crazy cars probably don't want to hear me complain about this, but like, and obviously if you live in like LA, you know, California, or like different places, you know, New York, people, where you're probably just used to it. But here in Virginia, I noticed that I get quite a bit of looks. People do double takes or pull their phone out, and it can be kind of a distraction. So, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's definitely something you notice when driving this car. So that's one of the things too, that it's like, you know, before you go out or do anything, or like, you know, you kind of have to maybe keep that in mind a little bit. You know, obviously you don't want to let it get to your head, but like, you know, you're going to be kind of a target in this car. People like to be on your blind spots a lot on the highway, and just kind of like, it's kind of weird. But yeah, that's why I didn't mention it as top 5, because I'm really kind of pushing it out there where it's really not that crazy, not the big of a deal. And like I said, if you have something that's a lot more exotic, you know, I'm sure you have it 10 times worse than I got. But it's something to keep in mind. You know, like, you know, the more exclusive or the more money you put into your car, and the more different it is than the norm, people are gonna look and stare and like try to race you a lot. You know, it does get annoying and kind of like you know, it just gets annoying, you know, pretty much. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, thanks a lot for watching, and stay tuned for the next video.
Sí,